It's a complex series of levers, pulleys, and math in order to make everything all happen.
So what are you doing?
We are setting up the chassis. We got to make sure we can fit the excessively large tire into a small hole. And then I still got it set. I was finishing setting camber and caster. I got to set the toe, set the bump steer on the front end so that it doesn't try to wander down the racetrack or down the straight. Once I get that finished up, I'm going to square the rear end up, set the top bar angles. The lower bar angles I believe I already set, so I'm going to double check them. And then I will go through, tighten everything, get everything set there, set shock compression clicks. Then we'll throw it on scales, throw some driver weight in it, make sure we got enough fuel in it. Final set all the numbers on the scales, and then set the anti-roll once it's on the scales, so I know I get the actually get a little bit of tension on it, like which way we want to put it. So really right now we're just kind of running through the checklist, I guess, my mental checklist of everything I need to set up.
Yep.
That ain't so bad. It's got a lot of front weight, which I kind of fully expected. On a 4-link car, you'll turn the top right rear bar, put a little bit of preload in it. Some people put negative preload. That's what makes it drive left or drive right. On a bar, the factory 4-bar, which actually I have not finished completing setting that up yet, so one of them could be off.
So Sugar Mama is just a little bit longer than Kyle's car. And then when I put that trailer in there, it's a cluster. So, in fact, this is the first time I've had that trailer in there. So it's a complex series of levers, pulleys, and math in order to make everything all happen. Because I'm like 2 foot short on a trailer. And get another trailer. Featherlight, if you're watching this video, or Gold Rush, yeah, or ATC. Yeah, so now you can see this is where the car needs to be. This is where the trailer is. This is where the hitch for the trailer is underneath. But bolted to the floor, so I put a ball down there, like a little gooseneck ball, to attach the trailer to, so it's really rock solid. And then we strap down the back axle. You see into the back. See in the back there how close it is to the wall or to my cabinets. No, it's not quite touching. This is free. So packed up tight. Well, you saw we just left the shop, and we're about, we are an hour out of, actually, let's see, 1, 3 o'clock, 2 hours total, so about an hour and a half away As I got to get off the rumble strips here. Hour and a half away, and looks like we're gonna be traveling through some winter. Not cool, but is what it is. Here it's supposed to be cold all the way down there, and so we're just trucking right along, heading to sick week. 1, 2, 3. Heading to sick week 3.
Is it?
Alrighty. There you go. We are here. Very close. All right, so we made it to the racetrack. Alex Taylor is already coming over.
I'm about to draw.
Come here.
Oh,
See?
how cute. I'm about to add your face to the side of my car now. But it has been sitting in my driver's seat, and every time we open the trailer, I'm like, ah! And then it's just Steve.
It's a shock of, there's like a certain radiance that comes off. It's like, oh.
It's not. That was
It's a different kind of shock.
It's like, ah! Weirdo!
All right, so you saw Alex come over. We just chit-chatted, so we just got here. Just, excuse me, just trying to get stuff unloaded. Trying to get everything all around and in race mode, and we'll go, hopefully, we'll go make a pass.
What are you doing?
Put a shocks on. This is my job. Nice and easy.
Looks fun.
Yes. It's always fun.
Alrighty, so what I need to do here, now we got everything, took what we did was put just solid bars in for replacing the shocks instead of letting it beat the shocks up all the way down here from Michigan. So Clark's got all the rear suspension in it the way it should be. And I got the front wheels and tires on it. It started up and running. And now I need to break in my line-to-line piston coating. So I'm just going to put it on the trans brake, let it build up a little bit of temperature, put it on trans brake, and then I think I'm going to change the oil and rock and roll. darn rag that was down in my bell housing, that was down in my flywheel. Not cool. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so that should put enough, well, it's good enough. it's gonna have to be. And it's sprinkling here anyway, so it's not like we're in a big yank or big rush. So they're gonna have to dry stuff off, and it looks like rain. I like
There's a little blob we put.
Ain't no trans brake, man. I don't know. Took the plunger out, cleaned the plunger, because Dennis Taylor over there is telling me, you know, sometimes they can get a little bit of junk stuck in them and it'll hold the plunger open or shut. So I took the plunger out, cleaned it, put it back in, and the solenoid is operating, but it is not holding it. So I don't know.
Kyle says I was 14.
Hey, you want to hook up your computer too? I just wanted to see when I was out of it. So I got up there, and so it's first pass of the day, first pass for a few months now. So I totally forgot what I wanted to cut a really, really good light. So I just went up there and just was staging. I was making sure, you know, first time back out, you're making sure everything still works. And so it bumped and it's already all cool, and I seen light come out and let go, and I knew I wasn't making enough boost because I heard it not, it didn't come up on the 3-step, it only hit the 2-step. So I staged in just a tick early, so it didn't leave real hard. It only went at 112, and I think I must have lifted right before the 330 because it's a little slow right through there. So we'll get in there and kind of look at stuff, but now we're gonna change the oil because I decided after doing that the two steps, the oil was stone cold. I mean, it was just plain out cold. So I thought, I'll just go out there and make a really short little pass, then I'll come in and change the oil. So now I'll download the data log, see what it looked like, see where I lifted at. But it must have been hiked up fairly good because when I chopped throttle out here, like I said, really, really quick, it made the 1-2 gear change. So it makes the 1-2 gear change at 1.5 or so. As soon as it made the gear change, it basically let off the gas. And I heard the front end go, so I guess we better check that out. Oh, and so the whole point of that story was I was just worried about just making stuff happen. I totally forgot about trying to cut a really good light. I went 0.59 and Alex right in front of me went 0.38. She was trying though. Downloaded the first data log of 2024. So that's the first hit of 2024. So like I said, just wanted to make sure it was going to leave the line. Everything was working, and we're going to change that oil. Everything is looking pretty darn good. Although the air is something is different here. Of course, I had these turbos rebuilt, and so now they're surging again. So I gotta figure out my perfect spot for engine RPM launch, because if you remember me talking about compressor surge, it's a relation to the turbo. Very loosely paraphrased, the turbo is moving more air at that particular RPM and level than what the engine can take. So when it's backing up in the engine, because the engine RPM is a little low, is the normal thing. The only way you can really make the engine take more air is to rev it up or ask for less air. So it's trying to give it too much air. That's what compressor surge is in a nutshell. Okay, so you can see it right here. It comes up nice. It hits the 3-step right there. So it did build boost. Really nice. 14 pounds of boost, which is where I wanted to be, which is way less because I've left all the way up into 21 pounds of boost with this car. So 14 pounds of boost right there, and then right here at the end, so it's happy, it's fine for quite literally, it's there for about 3/4 of a second, and then that little spiky right there, you'll see it go down, up, down, up, down. And of course, I just let go of the button on the down stroke, so it left on 11 pounds of boost, and then it's trying to recover. So that's probably why the 60 foot was so slow, only went 12. So this is the exact tune that was in the car when we were at Indy, went 109. So everything is exactly the same. Launched straight, went straight, felt fine. Look at the video here. I don't know how high it was hiked up, but it felt in more control. It didn't feel as high to me. So we'll just kind of come in, take a look at it, change your oil, take care of stuff, and you can see right here. So this is me getting out of I chopped throttle at 2.4 seconds. So that's why it's a little slow on the it's slow on the 60 foot, and it's definitely slow on the 330, but it's because I'm out of the gas there. And I think that went, so letting off the gas at 2.5 seconds into the run, 2.3 seconds into the run. On the brakes, so I could actually make the first turnout, it went 10:45, which is really funny. It went 5:02 eighth mile, letting off at 2.3 seconds. Yeah, it only went 298, so it probably would have went I probably should have gone a 280, high 280, 289, something like that. But we just gotta leave a little bit harder. That's what we're here testing for. That's what we're here doing. Now we gotta get Sugar Mama working, because there's something going on with a trans brake issue. But when we had figured it out, like literally half an hour before we left, put it in the trailer, it's like, we're just gonna have to fix it down there. So that's what we're doing. Alrighty, so we're at actually probably realistically day 1 of testing. So this is Tuesday, and so it just came out for the morning, and we're gonna lash this up real quick. And we're also today going to be switching over to the big Goodyear / Mickey Thompson's. This is a 3617. There you go, 361716. So give these things a whirl. 113, yep. So we're gonna be testing these things out. And also, did you notice? Now look right here, slow motion, exact same tune-up. It was just maybe a tick soft at the very hip, but not anything far out. The bull's horn, I think did work. They did exactly. So the car is hooked up. The car before, see the pre-shot. This shot, now we didn't get it from behind, Nate wasn't out in front, but you can see it actually set the tire, forced the tire back down, was more skipping like this, and I noticed that it was, I still had steering control when before I lifted at 2.3 seconds. So anyways, super happy about this. Now that'll mean we'll do the same base test, not changing anything. Just gonna go out and try these, put the Goodyears on it, Mickey Thompson's, and exact same pass, and then we'll start sneaking up on this thing. We're thinking everything's pretty good so far. Sugar Mama, working on a trans brake issue still. I think we're gonna have that fixed today, so we're gonna keep on plugging away through that, so my wife Val can make this her first pass in the last 20 some odd years. Well, that shook, so obviously shook like crazy. So we'll have to take a look at that, take a look at those numbers, and kind of see what's going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, super. won't even talk about that reaction time because I wasn't trying again. Alrighty, so you just saw us make the second pass, and it still shook, and I just drove through it. So I think we're gonna figure that out, and we actually are trying their other tire with bead locks, and I probably am gonna go back to a bead lock wheel. So on that one, it's really slow. We went 112, 296, and only went at 439. But what's interesting about that is why. So what I did was I took timing out on the 1-2 gear change. So the first pass, it shook really hard as soon as it made the 1-2 gear change. Just went crazy. Okay, so took timing out, and I didn't know where to do it, so I thought I'd just play it like super safe and just take 10 degrees of timing out when it makes the gear change, and then ramp it back in. And you can see it knocked the wind right out of it. So this is the timing curve. Let's see here. Might be a little hard to see here. Let me get rid of a bunch of stuff. Now boost is all the same, and this is pretty god darn interesting. So here is my gear change. There's the 1-2 change right there, and this is the 2-3 change up there. All right, now we'll just get rid of that. You can still see him, the little outline. This is my drive shaft curve. It just started to get a little crazy. Started getting a little too fast. It made this timing change. You see this right here? Boom! This red line. Let me highlight that again for you. There we go. There, that green line. So it's timing. It makes the gear change. Boom! But look at what it did to engine RPM. Bing, drops down in engine RPM. Drive shaft curve goes way backwards and stays way low. And let me bring you my previous drive shaft curves. Oops. This is my previous drive shaft curve right here. It usually follows this drive shaft curve, but that 10-degree timing dump and then ramping back in at over 0.8 of a second knocked the wind out of it so bad the engine bogged down right there. Okay, there we go, that's good color. Engine bogged down, the drive shaft slowed down so much and the engine slowed down so much it never recovered. It just sat way down below its normal curve, and that's why it went a 439. So what I'm doing here, and what I have done, is I'm taking out some more timing in my timing retard curve, which is right here, right before it starts shaking, and I'm going to take out probably like 5 degrees on the gear change and just ramp it back in over like 0.2 seconds, so it just hits it a little bit and then can drive through it faster. But we're going to try getting faster through here and get this drive shaft curve back up. So that green line is the actual drive shaft curve. Right there, that is drive shaft curve. How much that timing affected it. Boom, dropped it down and never recovered. It just started out at lower, the whole thing. So this is, the orange dots are my normal. If it goes past that, it's on traction control, and it went past it here because it was shaking. So we are going to go in and we're just going to tune this area up. I'm going to try accelerating faster here, slower here, and faster there. So anyways, everything's looking good.